So, state of the podcast announcement. There are some changes on the horizon, geeks. When Wizards launched 5 years ago, I was a few years into my journey as a stay at home dad, and that journey has come to an end. So, my kids are all in school now, which means we don't need a parent at home during the day to watch them. And as a result, I'm going back to work as of January 2025. Now, we don't know 100% what that means to the podcast at this time, but just for a peek behind the curtain, I spend many hours during the week reading the issues, writing show notes, scheduling guests, editing the podcast, recording videos, doing all our social media. So it's kind of been a full time job producing the podcast as it was. So adding into that mix full-time job outside of Wizards HQ and all I want to do here, that means there's going to be less time for that level of preparation and production.
I want really to stress this, Adam. This is Wizards really is, whether the other older co-hosts would admit it or not, you really are like the Conan O'Brien or
I wish I was Conan O'Brien. He's got a whole team of people.
But you're the Conan O'Brien of the show, and I'm like the Andy Richter, or our previous co-hosts. Your previous co-hosts were the Andy Richter. You really are the driving force of the show. You deserve more credit than any of us, and I am throwing the other co-hosts under the bus too.
No, they would agree. Michael has said that in the past. So I would say, yeah, I'm very passionate. I go full force into that stuff.
I'm amazed by it. When I'm not on, I'll listen to the episode because I find it that entertaining. But in addition to what Adam's saying, I'm also taking on a new job. Like, I'm working in VFX during the day now. Like, when I joined the podcast, I was unemployed. I was close to losing the house many months in a row. But now I have a full-time job, at least for the time being. The VFX industry still stinks, but I am taking on a teaching gig, which means my time, I have even less time. So I'm teaching in the evenings now. I'm going to have my own time constraints going into 2025.
For the record, geeks, I will go on and say I've always referred to myself as the Ed McMahon to his Johnny Carson, or the Andy to his Conan. That's a fact.